is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Jeremy Lee in the building and every guest that you ever needed. Sports cards after hours keep the hobby heated. Updates, hobby talk like you never seen it. Sports cards live and none could ever beat it. Sports cards is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Welcome to another episode of Sports Cards Live with your host, Jeremy Lee.
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the second episode of the Miller and Miller Sports Card and Memorabilia Auction Showcase, the pre-1980 Sports Card and Memorabilia. My name is Jeremy Lee. It is June the 18th, 2025. We have a fun show. We have some really cool items here, and we are going to bring out some personnel from Miller and Miller. Let's first bring out co-founder, Mr. Justin Miller. His name is on the company. Justin, welcome back. How are you doing?
Absolutely. I'm doing very well. Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate you having us on the show again.
It's good to be back. I like working with you guys. You bring a great spirit to the sports card community, and I like what you guys are doing. I like the selection of items. I like how you're curating these auctions. So we're going to get into some of that with Ben when we bring him on. So let's go on and bring Ben back on. Ben Pernfuss, welcome back, Ben. It's good to have you back, buddy. And I do like running into the expo every so often. How's things?
Things are good. Thanks for having me back, Jeremy. Yeah, it was great to run into you at the Toronto Expo there.
How did you enjoy the show?
It was awesome. Yeah, we were set up there for the first time, and we had a new experience there being a vendor. It was cool to see.
Yeah, and I remember coming by your booth, and you had some cool items on display. So that was great. And you know, it's mostly a pretty friendly hobby. So I hope everybody treated you guys well and kind of welcomed you into the community there, if they weren't aware of you before then. But those who watch Sports Cards Live and your own customers as well, I'm sure those that were there came by to say hi. So it's a great atmosphere there at the Sport Card Expo. But we have a great auction on tap for tonight. But before we get into that, I wanted to follow up because this is your second sports card auction. The first one, Sports Card and Memorabilia. The first one ended in January. We did a showcase show as well. How did it go for you guys? What were some of the responses, Justin, like from your consignors, from your customers? Let us know what people were thinking.
It was exciting. It was fun. I mean, we had a lot of fun getting into a new category here at Miller and Miller. We deal in so many different categories of antiques and collectibles. Sports cards and sports memorabilia have always been on our radar, but to have a dedicated sale like that, it was really, it was a learning experience for both of us and everybody in the company. Every category, there's a certain language, there's a certain way to do things that's expected, and to sort of navigate that and learn about it as you get into these new categories as an auction company. That was, there's a learning curve there, but we learned a lot. We made some changes, and this time everything looks better than ever.
That's great. And so you had your original batch of consignors for the sports card auction. You had your existing customers who you had on your existing mailing list. You obviously had some new bidders come in. How did your consignment clients find that things went?
They were happy. I mean, a lot of our consignors, they're collectors by nature, and the reality is they don't necessarily collect just one category of items. We've learned that over time. A lot of our sales contain multiple categories of collectibles. The sports card sale and sports memorabilia is very focused, even compared to what we typically do. But generally, our consignors were very happy with the outcome. A lot of them weren't aware of where the market was at. These things can easily find their way into drawers and shoe boxes and be forgotten about. And then all of a sudden they see us asking for them. And since they're sort of in our world, that becomes their world. And all of a sudden they pull them out and show them to Ben, and Ben's happy to explain what they have. And it's amazing what turned up.
That's really cool. So Ben, you lead at Miller and Miller, you lead the sports card memorabilia division. I think that's such a cool job for you, buddy. Really happy for you that you get to do that. One of the things that I want to share with the audience, and I want you to share with the audience, is how you go about sourcing these items that are coming to Miller and Miller in this auction. Can you give us just a high-level overview of where are these items coming from?
Yeah, so I think as Justin mentioned, like a lot of our first sports card auction came from our existing base of clients. And with the success of that auction, it was thrilling to see what came out of it. So we run these press releases that show some results from our last auctions, and we were lucky enough to sell some 311 mantles, some high level baseballs, and those results got picked up by local media around us. Like, we're in Canada or here in Southern Ontario, there's not many sports auctions that are dealing in the higher end stuff. So this was big news for our local networks, and stories were ran about the results from our sale, and that's sort of what drove a lot of the consignment for this next auction. Is stuff that was tucked away in drawers, in attics, in boxes, and came fresh to market.
One of the things that I want to highlight here is that we collect these sports cards and memorabilia, and we love to just look at them. But some of these things are 75 years old, 150 years old, 25 years old, whatever it is. Nothing in this auction is only 25 years old. This is all 1980 and before and earlier. But these cards, these items, these collectibles, they have a history. And that story is part of their journey to whoever's going to acquire them here. This auction ends June 22nd. Someone's going to become, in many cases, on these items in your auction, somebody's going to become only the second owner of these items that are as old as, say, we're going to look at a couple 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle number 311s. These are original owner pieces. I think that is rare in the hobby right now, to go look at an auction catalog. By the way, guys, to the audience, this is the Miller and Miller pre-1980 sports collector memorabilia catalog. It's a beautiful book. I received mine, and it's, full color, nice layouts, great descriptions, a nice coffee table piece right here. Look at the back cover, some 64 Topps tall boys. These cards have stories to tell. And again, like I was saying, I think it's rare to look through one of these auction catalogs and be able to become only the second owner on a majority of the items in the auction. So I don't know if you even realized, Ben and Justin, that someone like me, who's been collecting these things for 45 years, I would love to know that about these items. So Ben, again, high level, 235 lots in the auction here tonight. Many of them are going to be original owner pieces. Are your customers who are going to buy these going to be able to know that?
Yeah, so a lot of the cases, Jeremy, you'll see I have indicated that it's recently graded. And we'll see that on the cert number as well. So that indicates that probably it is a single owner card. If there's any questions about the ownership history of any item, anyone listening is welcome to call me, and I can give you that history, and we'll talk a little bit about some of those items today. But yeah, as you said, that's one of the most exciting parts of this job, is that 70 to 90% of the cards in this sale were found raw, recently graded, and being offered here for someone else to own.
So one of the things that I said to these guys before we went live, and I have to figure out if I believe this or not. I'm curious what you guys in the chat think. Let me know. But if you're buying a collectible, a sports card, let's talk about sports cards. You're buying a sports card, and let's say the grade is a VG3, okay? But the story behind the card. You can trace its history back to its original owner. Does that elevate the item for you as to own it? And what I said to these guys was, to me, that might elevate the item from one whole grade point. It might, the value that I would perceive from the item. I'm not talking about monetary value. I just mean like value of ownership, enjoyment of owning a piece. If I know the story behind the item, to me, that might be worth a whole grade point. What do you? Am I crazy? Chat. Michael, Laura, Kevin, Robert, Wesley, I'm just Preston. I see you guys out there. Jeff, Josh, Jacob. What do you guys think? Am I out to lunch on that? Or is there something to be said? I know for me, there's something to be said. So maybe the question isn't, am I out to lunch? It's, am I in the minority? Well, how do you guys feel about that? Let us know, because I think that's really cool, where you can potentially learn the story behind the item that you own, especially if it's an item that is from pre-1980 or even the 50s. So I think that's really cool. Justin, anything you want to add to that?
I think it's absolutely important. I mean, it's no different with sports cards and memorabilia than it is with anything else that we deal in here at Miller and Miller. There's something to be said for fresh to the market. And it's just the fact that it hasn't been passed through hands of collectors, traded and this and that and whatever. Like, when you get something that's fresh to the market, it's not been seen before. It's exciting. It's absolutely, I mean, there's a value to that. I mean, I'd much rather have a card. I don't care what it is. I'd much rather have a card that just was found in a shoebox that hasn't been discussed amongst the communities and poo-pooed and this and that and whatever. I'd want something that's fresh.
Yeah. I think fresh to market, original owner pieces. Like when you are looking on Auto Trader at a car, if it's original owner, they're putting it in there. They're putting it in the auction because it speaks to the care given to the piece over time. Well, I don't know. I like a story behind my cards, and it adds value to me. Again, maybe not monetary value, but the value of ownership, the enjoyment of ownership. It's an intangible. It's different than nostalgia, but there's something. I would be proud to be the second owner of a 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle that hasn't made its way around town, if you will. I think that's really cool. Well, why don't we get into some of these items, guys? I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. Jacob Dahl, welcome. Good to see you. Josh J, welcome to the show. Jeff McMahon is here. Laura, always good to see you. Preston Cantor, welcome to the show. Wesley says hello from North Carolina. Robert Scott, good evening. Robert, always good to see you, buddy. We've got Laura here. We mentioned Kevin Hawthorne is in Lakeland, Florida. Welcome to the show. Linda's First says, cool looking catalog. Love those magazines. They are collectibles themselves. I got a whole shelf of that kind of stuff. It makes for a fun, it's good resource material too, and it can also become part of provenance. If you're going to sell an item 10 years from now and you have the original catalog that you bought it from, that's a nice companion piece to the item that you can pass along if you would want to. Linda's First says, I love the story of the card, but I don't think it will add any monetary value. I don't think it'll add monetary value unless it's coming from a person of fame. Then it might add some monetary value. Brett S., I've never questioned your sanity, Jeremy. I'm glad to hear it, Brett. Thank you very much. But look at this. Wesley says the story is the real asset. I love it. Laura says, yes, the story of its existence gives more life to it than just being cardboard. Love it. Robert Scott, provenance is slowly becoming a new rarity factor, right? Because once these things change hands several times, you tend to lose track. I love that. I love the way you worded that, Robert. Preston Cantor says, I could see how knowing the history of ownership might increase my personal attachment to a card. Right. We're not talking about monetary value. Personal attachment's a great way to say it, Preston. Orlando, always good to see you, buddy. Welcome to the show. And he goes on to say, I'm the second owner of a 52 Mantle with provenance and a letter. Yeah. And Orlando, follow up with us. Does that make that item relatively more important than items where you don't have the provenance and a letter? It's a question for you, Orlando. Does it make that item, is your pride of ownership any higher? I'm curious. Okay, while we wait for Orlando, let's bring on the auction and have a look, guys. millerandmillerauctions.com is where you can go to check out this auction and all their other categories. They have several categories, guys. They have the Miller Times. It's like a newsletter that they put out. This auction closes in 3 days, 19 hours on June 22nd, 2025 at 5 o'clock Eastern. You can register to bid. If you are new to Miller and Miller, go register, guys. And in the registration form, there might be a field to where did you hear about us, and you can put sports cards live in there so they know that where you came from. All right, guys, you ready to have a look at some of these pieces? Let's do it. So 235 lots. We were sorted by lot number, but just so you know, you could also sort by the price, the time left, also the estimate. I think that's interesting and pretty cool. So go navigate the site, have a look around, and we're going to kind of run through some of these. Before we do, Orlando responds, and he says, for me, it's invaluable. Got it from the family. The grandfather opened the pack. Like, here he is telling the story again. I love that, Orlando. To me, your mantle is awesome, Orlando. Just awesome. So I love it. I love it. Okay, we're going to start things off here, guys. Now, Miller & Miller is located in Canada, but you're going to find a lot of baseball in this auction, some football as well, some basketball, of course, some hockey, and some non-sports cards. Some non-card memorabilia is what I meant to say. We've got some 1955 Topps baseball cards. We've got an Ernie Banks PSA 5. We've got a Jackie. We got a Ted Williams. We've got a Hank Aaron, a Sandy Koufax rookie, and a PSA 1. Ben, tell us a little bit about where this collection came from.
Yeah, so as you were saying, Jeremy, this is one of those situations where the original owner is the consignor, and these cards were all ripped from a pack in 1955. They were kept in the hands of that single owner, and they're offered for sale now. And looking at that Koufax there, when I saw that card on the shelf, I was like, oh, that's a great card. You look at the back and you see why it got the 1 designation, but really a high eye appeal for that 1 grade.
Super high eye appeal on the front, and this paper loss on the back is going to automatically put it down in the 1 zone. But if you are, cards like this are gaining so much more popularity. Eye appeal is where collectors are really focusing right now. And the front of this certainly does have it. I mean, that is really strong centering for a 55 Topps card. Let's keep on going, guys. Let's scroll through. We have a Reggie Jackson rookie here from 1969. One of my favorite cards in the whole auction is this 1952 Parkhurst Terry Sawchuk. This is his 2nd-year card. It's a strong grade at a PSA 7.5. This is an earlier grade, so this may not be an original owner card, Ben. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm not as certain of the provenance of that card, but certainly a really nice one.
Look at the centering on this, guys. I'm going to zoom. And notice the zoom functions here, everybody. You can zoom as far out as that, as far in as here. Have a really good look at the details of the conditions on the various the front and the back surfaces of the card. I'm going to try and figure out that might be the sweet spot right there for us where we can see it all. I own a copy of this card myself. It's one of my favorite cards. I actually prefer it to his rookie card. The color, the crowd in the back behind the mesh. This is before the days of glass. They had netting back then. I just love this card so much. And this is an absolutely stunning copy right here. And this one's currently at $500. What's the buyer's premium at Miller & Miller, Justin?
18%.
18%, guys. So pretty competitive as well from a buyer's premium perspective.
And maybe, Justin, you just want to jump in and talk about the difference between bidding on our platform versus maybe where some of your audience, Jeremy, might see us on Live Auctioneers. Justin, you can just hop in and talk about that.
Yeah, so our website, millerandmillerauctions.com, and the Live Auctioneers website are integrated. They're synced together. So when you place a bid through Live Auctioneers, it'll update in basically real time on our own website in this timed auction. So it is, we do allow bids through both Live Auctioneers and millerandmillerauctions.com.
So what is Live Auctioneers? Is that an aggregator of several auction companies where if I'm a buyer of items from auction houses, I can just go there and see a whole bunch of things at once?
That's right. Yeah. So many auction houses use Live Auctioneers. Some bidders prefer Live Auctioneers just because of the fact that if they're bidding in multiple auctions, they can sort of navigate everything through one dashboard and they don't have to register individually with all of these different auction houses. What we've found is that the majority, and by majority, I would say 90% of our bidders bid directly with Miller & Miller. There's multiple reasons that's the case, but I think the buyer's premium alone, for instance, on Live Auctioneers, you do have to pay an additional 5% to use their service. The experience through millerandmillerauctions.com, I think, is second to none, to be honest with you.
It's a great platform you have here for sure. Let's keep on rolling. Lot number 10, a 64 tops Gordie Howe PSA 5. The Glenn Hall rookie card. Probably this and the Johnny Busick would be the key rookies from the 1957 top set. But this Glenn Hall, I've always loved this card. It's just so nice. And this, guys, this is a very recently graded. Look at that serial number. It's a 9-digit serial number. It might be the first time I've seen 1-1. I've only seen the 1-0 so far. So look at that. Very recently graded. The registration's great. The color is great. The centering is great. And, you know, a 5 today could have been a 7 a few years ago from PSA. So just know that 5s are fine these days, especially on a card from 1957. And this is a wonderful copy, at least on the front. I also noticed you have a 65 tops Phil Esposito rookie card, lower grade. This is a PSA 2, but look at the centering on that. The corners are definitely where the condition comes down, the grade comes down, I should say. But I am noticing more and more collectors are hunting for the finest looking cards they can find in the lower grade. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I agree with you, Jeremy. And a number of the hockey rookies that you'll see in this sale are again single owner cards. They came from a gentleman who was trying to collect every hockey rookie card. So, you know, it was an incredible box to open. I saw thousands of cards lined up, and each one of them was a rookie, all ungraded and ready to be offered to the open market. So a lot of the rookies that you'll see in the sale recently graded, and all from one collection.
And why is he selling? Any can you share that information?
You know what? It was just time for him to sell. He was getting a little bit older and looking to you know, not all grandkids appreciate the hobby as much as us. So
yeah, doesn't want to burden the family. We hear that a lot in the space, obviously. Wesley says the color is amazing on the Glenn Hall, and Robert Scott says great eye appeal on that 65 Esposito. Yeah, if for a 2, great eye appeal. This is my wheelhouse, guys. I want to buy 1s. Literally, I want to buy 1s, the nicest ones I can find. But I'll take 2s and 3s and 4s too if they're nice also. You guys have, this is the first of, I think, 3 Bobby Orr rookie cards in the auction. This one is grading out a PSA 2. We have a PSA 2 Wayne Gretzky rookie card right here as well. And by the way, we're not going to go into every item and inspect them, you guys. I'm really asking the audience, go to millerandmillerauctions.com and check some of these out. Drill into these items, have a look at them, and you never know if you'll find something that's going to fit into your collection. But then next up, guys, is a whole slew of Nodders. I would call them bobbleheads, but they were, I think, called Nodders back in the day, or that was the brand. Ben, tell us a little bit about, and these are highly collectible. There's one guy at the National in Chicago every year. He's got a wall of these things, and they're not cheap. They're highly collectible, highly fragile, very cool. Ben, tell us a bit about this collection.
Yeah, so that was an interesting one, and you know, as a sports card guy, coming across this collection was a bit of an education for me. Mostly all from one owner who had nearly all of the Nodders from the 60s. You know, and these gold-based ones, you know, they have their issues, but extremely fragile, and to find them in any condition is fairly rare, and sort of that's indicated by where the bid is at right now. But yeah, it was an education for me to dive into the hobby of collecting bobblehead Nodders. Yeah, you can see that the market has responded with some pretty strong bidding on this lot.
Yeah, these are highly collectible, very, very cool, and they make a great display piece. Like if you, I'm in my, you guys know, I do my shows out of my office here, but I got a wall of shelving right over there, and it's all displayed. It's my shrine. And imagine these lined up in your office on a shelf, and you just walk by and you tip the chin so that they go, you know, like really, really cool pieces right there. We collect cards, a lot of us, but we don't often display them. And ever since I moved into this house and I have this office, I have really been enjoying my collectibles more than I ever have. And it's the best. It's the best if you love this stuff.
Yeah.
Laura says the Bobby Orr is iconic. And Mike, hey, good evening, Mike Double V. Good to see us. Says lots of good stuff in the auction. Yeah, couldn't agree more. Look, football card, Walter Payton, PSA 8 Topps rookie card. Not the most recent grade, but recently graded still in the last year. Tough, really, God, this is a nice copy, like centering wise. Where this one is this sourced out of Canada, Ben?
It's actually not, Jeremy. So another thing to I guess note now is that we do offer services in the U.S. and a number of consignments have come up from down south there for this sale. So this lot of football cards and a few of the baseball items have come down from the States, and we're offering them here in Canada.
That's great. That's really, hey, it's good to have a good size market. PSA 8 Walter Payton rookie. This is a very nice 8, guys. I mean, the centering looks almost perfect. It might be a little bit off to the left, but look at that color. Look at the greens and the yellows. I'm also not really noticing. Usually you see I almost don't want to say it. I might have to bid on this myself, but oftentimes on this card, guys, I'm going to show you where to look for registration. Yeah, this is tight. I challenge you guys, go look at other Walter Payton rookies and look at his name, Walter Payton. Oftentimes you're going to see some yellow shadow coming off those letters. And everybody knows who watches me, guys, Justin and Ben, that I'm a registration junkie. It's my favorite thing about a card. Was this printed did the printing plates all line up perfectly? In this case, they did. And it's very rare on a Walter Payton. So 8, I think this is a wonderful, wonderful example, you guys. Because I don't know if I've ever, I look at these all the time. And rarely do I see I almost don't remember ever seeing a perfectly registered copy. So take that for what it's worth, you guys. Awesome copy right there. More football. Ben, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that a lot of the cards that we have in the sale, as you mentioned, Jeremy, like not all cards are 8s, 9s, and 10s, but again, they're coming from the rough, and same thing with this Jim Brown card here. There's a pair of them in the sale, and this one's a 3. There's also a 5, and both of those cards were found in the rough, graded by the consignor, so you don't see them as recent, but they're single owner.
And that, I love the single owner. Keep saying that when you know that, please.
Yeah.
This is a really nice copy. Obviously, the centering is pretty off to the left there. We're looking at like an 85-15 kind of thing, I would say. But the black background is pretty solid. Minimal snow or fading there, I would say. Good registration as well on that copy, on that card right there. We're going to back up. Okay, here we go. We got a Joe Montana rookie. You got an autographed Franco Harris, 73 Topps. More football, guys. We have a complete 59 CFL football set, a complete 1960 set, a complete 1963 CFL set. I mean, these things are tough to find in many cases. Some unique collectible items. We got some Bill Russell 61 Fleer in action. SGC 7.5, very strong. Centering looks great, and the black background is pretty solid as well. You got the Magic Johnson Larry Bird rookie card right there. An unopened pack of this product right here, graded a PSA 8, the 1980 Topps basketball wax pack. I have this exact pack in my collection. I love unopened packs to collect them. They make wonderful display pieces, the old artwork. Ben, what do you think of collecting unopened packs?
I love it. I think, it takes a lot of willpower to not open those packs when whoever got them in 1980. I think it's a part of the market that has room to grow, to be honest, those unopened packs. And I think, we're seeing it get hotter and hotter. But yeah, it's another one of those items. Like, we're trying to offer a unique grouping. Like, we're not just going to offer hockey being in Canada. We want a little bit of baseball, a little bit of memorabilia, something for everybody. And I think that's what we're trying to do with these sales.
Yeah. And if nothing else, those nodders were wicked. Those two presentation swords that we scrolled by. The statue that you sold last time in the auction. I mean, you guys get some unique. You guys need to pay attention to Miller and Miller because they are unearthing pieces that I've never seen before. I swear, things I've never seen before. The best part was that statue that you sold last week that I didn't win. I saw it at the expo. They actually, did you see it there, Ben?
Yeah, I did. I kind of scared me, to be honest, when I rounded the corner, but I did see it there at the expo. It looked good behind the booth of the person who bought it.
Yeah, you're like blast from the past right there. Hey,
yeah,
that was pretty cool. Justin, how much pride do you take at Miller and Miller for unearthing things that we may not be able to find at other auction houses or elsewhere?
It's one of the big things with Miller and Miller that I think differentiates us between a lot of other auction houses. I mean, there's no question that it makes our jobs very exciting. You never know what's going to turn up, but I think the fact that we curate these sales so much. I mean, if Ben wasn't doing what he does to make sure that the sale is full of interesting and unique items, you'd end up like every other estate auction.
So we are passing thank you for that, whole bunch of 51 Parker's cards. Different lots are set up, guys. Go click in and check them out. There's the Terry Sawchuk rookie card. This is a KSA 2. It looks sharp. There's a PSA 7 Red Kelly rookie. This is well centered, guys. This is a top copy right here. I had to look at it earlier. And then we have to look at the Gordie Howe PSA 3. I mean, first of all, I want to look at the back. Yeah, see, the back is nice. It's not. Hold on. We're gonna use the zoom feature. I see you guys talking about it in the chat. So it's got some staining up there at the top right. It looks like almost like it might have been. I don't know. I'm not gonna try and describe that. I don't know what's going on there, but a nice cleanish back. It's got some toning. The card has aged. I like my cards to show their age in many cases. But let's have a look at the front of this card. Look at the centering on this thing, you guys. Like, let me zoom in. Let me zoom in a bit more. Put it right there for you. Top left corner, bottom right corner, some light dings. Bottom left corner has a bit of an issue. When I'm buying vintage cards like this era, I want the problem to be in the corners. Personally, that's what I like. A nicely centered card, good registration. The color is great. Look at how easy it is to read the black and the red text. A lot of you guys will know that the text on these 51 Parkers didn't always come out so bold. Sometimes you can barely read it. It's almost like it faded, but they just didn't strike the plates down hard enough, I don't think, back then on many of them. This is a really strong 3, Ben. You realize that, right? Like, this is really nice.
Yeah, when I was talking with the consignor on this one, we were both like, this is one of the better 3s we've seen. Like, it everything you mentioned, Jeremy, it's a really nice copy.
And recently graded. We point that out because we just know that PSA's changed standards. They're grading tougher than ever. So a 3 today could have been a 4, a 5, within a couple of years from right now. So that's a wonderful copy, guys. That comes with my full endorsement. Let's go to a couple comments here. I love this. Let's go, Jordan. Okay, I'm bidding on stuff now. David G loves the second-year Sawchuk. The Pursuit. Sign me up for bidding. Miller and Miller auctions.com. Pursuit. Please go get yourself signed up. Crypto Collects. The Walter Payton is a beauty. History of Comics and Preston. Love the Zoom feature on the website. Pre-war dreams. I wonder if I can get a cash advance from Jeannie Buss, who just sold the Lakers, so I can bid on the 55 tops. Jackie. Let's go. Jordan wants to know, Justin, maybe you can answer this. Is there a way to change the currency to US dollars?
So not on Miller and Miller auctions.com, but if you go to Live Auctioneers, it will display the auction in whatever currency that you'd want to see it in. But no, there is no way on our own site, being that it's a Canadian site. You'll have to do the exchange yourself, and it does change day to day.
But you do have US buyers, Justin?
Absolutely. Yes. So I don't know the numbers off the top of my head from the last sale, but I would say that at least half of our registered bidders would be from the US, and then sometimes we get 10%, 20% international, but definitely a lot of American bidders.
And I guess another thing to add is just that if anyone has any questions, we could go on to our website. find my number, find Justin's number. We're always here to take a call and talk about currency or any questions that anyone has.
Yeah, don't be shy, you guys. Reach out to these guys. You can see how friendly these guys are. Reach out to them. I mean, they want to become part of the community. I want to see them grow in our community. So reach out to them with your questions. Ask them here. We're happy to do that here as well, but feel free to reach out and ask these guys some questions. 1951 Parkhurst wrapper. Now, this is not a wrapper like a wax pack wrapper. This is a cardboard wrapper, and I have one of these in my collection as well. I'm a big fan of the iCert wrapper grading company. I met these guys at the expo in Toronto back in April, and I've purchased a couple of wrappers in their slabs. I actually, not within arm's reach right now, but I have a couple. I'm sure some of you guys have seen me show them on other shows. But this is the first post-war hockey pack, flattened out. You can see it forms a box. You'd get 5 cards within that box itself, little cardboard within cardboard. This is a historical relic right here. It's a $650, and these slabs are awesome. They display really well. I'm really happy with the ones that I have. Is this an original, Ben? Like original owner?
Yeah, so I was going to mention that I was going through a gentleman's collection, and that came out of his drawer. I pulled the drawer open, and I saw that in there, which was quite a thrill. And recently graded by iCert, and yeah, they're doing great work at iCert, and I love how that displays in that case.
It really displays well. We got a Type 1 photo here, a couple more. A 1951 Parkhurst Maurice Richard rookie card, and this is all curated in a frame with a signed stick as well. An Henri Richard rookie card, the 57 Parkhurst is right over there. You got here. Let's just go into this and blow this one up a little bit. Let's just slide that slider over. Look at that. The 2 rookie cards, a picture of that would be Henri right over there. There's a puck and both autographs on a ProFlex Louisville right there. Look at the autograph. Look at Maurice's autograph here, you guys. I can't get any bigger than that, but Maurice Rocket Richard. Like that's the most beautiful Richard autograph I've ever seen on anything, you guys. Come on, right? Like
yeah, that piece there, Jeremy, kind of a unique one, but it was the centerpiece of an older gentleman who ran a store here in Ontario, and it was pulled off of his wall and likely a centerpiece of his store for a long time.
Right on. Orange Goat. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He says, is it possible that isn't a stain on the corner of Gordie Howe, maybe from being stored in a in a photo corner? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I didn't know what to call that thing. So thank you, Orange Goat. Let's go, Jordan. I guess CAD is about 75 US, same 73. Yeah, your dollar stretches a long way in Canada right now for sure. And you want, throw in the A's. You're one of us. You're honorary for sure. Still out of country, and you hear as always, JL. Yes, sir. Let's go, Jordan. He's on vacation right now. I love it. All right, let's keep on rolling, guys. Couple of signed sticks here. A Bill Barilko stick. Now, Bill Barilko is a legendary figure. He died right after scoring the Stanley Cup winning goal for the Maple Leafs. There's a famous song written about him by the Tragically Hip. This is a piece, Ben, I think you might want to tell a little bit of a story. Oh, and there's also, look at this, the Type 2 photo of Bill Barilko right here. The cool thing about this photo, you guys, it's the alternate angle where the 51 Parkhurst winning goal card has a different angle of that goal. I've never seen this alternate angle here, Ben, but tell us about that and or the stick.
Yeah, the stick is a unique item and an interesting story. So after the Leafs won the Stanley Cup, the story is that a group of them went on a fishing trip, and Barilko loved to fish. So him and a number of the Toronto Maple Leafs, after that Stanley Cup final victory, they went on a trip. They stayed at a gentleman's cottage to do their fishing. And as a gift to the cottage owner, they gave this stick, and the stick is stamped number 5 Barilko, signed by Barilko and all of the players who were on that that post Stanley Cup fishing trip. So that story is written up there, and you can also see it on the Miller Times. But it's a really unique piece and a rare opportunity to get a Barilko item game issued stick.
And did you say that Bill Barilko signed this stick?
Yes, he did. So it's near the blade, sort of over the right there, over the Love and Bennett logo. So it's actually fairly bold, although sort of being masked by the logo there. It's not bad.
So a Bill Barilko autograph is extremely rare. Like there are not many that have made their way into the hobby, and this is special. This is special. This is a kind of piece that could be purchased by Upper Deck, let's say, and they could cut this stick up and put that into a card and make it like a stick cut Barilko auto. Now, I don't know that that the community would want this piece of history to be cut up, especially with that story that comes along with it, which is written in the text here. It's at $3,750. I see that go, and look at right within your estimate range. I see that exceeding $5,000 quite easily, guys, because that is a tough piece. Kudos to Miller & Miller and you specifically, Ben, I think, for bringing this to the community, because that's a spectacular piece right there.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, no, seriously, like that. Yeah. That's impressive. I didn't realize it was autographed until right now.
Yeah. The lot 55 there is also pretty unique. The full team signed 36-37 Toronto Maple Leafs. So the story on that is the person who owned those autograph pages was lucky enough to enter the change room after a preseason game of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and all of those were signed at one time in the same booklet.
Frank Selke right there. I can read that one. Is that George Hainsworth right there?
Yeah.
You got a Conacher right there. You have Hap Day Seal apps right there. Just the ones that I'm able to pick out. Frank Finnegan. It's funny how you can just read these, Yeah. Gordy Drian, I think that, or Drillin, I'm not sure how you say it, but he's a Hall of Famer right there as well. Really cool. Like what a nice display that makes as well. Mm-hmm. Just wonderful pieces, like unique things that we just don't see often. I love learning about it. 1937, 3 cards from 37 O-Pee-Chee. Getting into some more baseball now, some Mickey Mantles, 65 tops, one of my newly discovered favorite sets of the vintage baseball. And what I love about 65 is this pennant here kind of waving on the bottom. I think that's a really nice design element on these cards. This is really well centered too, guys. If you're doing a Mickey Mantle run and you want centered, here's a really great candidate for you. It's an SGC4. It looks like maybe just corners, maybe some other light flaws, but that's a nice looking card right there, you guys. Ben, jump in if there's anything you want to mention. More Mantles here. You got the Bowman Color 53. It's off center, but a great color on that. And we got to look at the Mantle, right?
For sure, Jeremy. Yeah.
Here's the
neat
first
story
one
on this one.
Okay, well, why don't you tell us the story, and while you're talking, I'll just kind of look at the card.
Yeah, so that Mantle came out from around us. There was an article run in a local newspaper after our last sale, which we sold a couple 52 Mantles. So this Mantle is single owner, and we sourced it from a reclaimed church about an hour and a half from where we are in near Waterloo, Ontario. So I showed up to this church sort of in the countryside, not really sure what I was getting into. And I entered the church, and there was a gentleman there who, you get these calls about Mantles and, little bit of skepticism at times because, it's the Holy Grail and just get a call out of nowhere from a newspaper article. But I went into this church, and sitting on the counter in a sleeve was this Mantle card. So it was a pretty incredible find, and something that was in that church for many years before we were able to pull it out. Just on mute there, Jeremy.
I'm fighting I'm just getting over a cold, so I keep having to mute myself when I cough. But great color, great registration. Look at how clear he looks here. The blue is nice, the yellow is nice. Centering and corners are the issues with this card, and then there might be a few things that we're not seeing as well. A couple of light stains maybe in that, but what a nice looking copy. Centering is good. The centering, it's, we're looking at what here, 70-30 kind of thing, maybe around there, but $42,500 Canadian right now on that one. I'm going to go a couple quick comments here, though. David G, talking about the alternate angle Barilko, says it has Maurice Richard in the photo. So he's talking about this item. Where'd it go? Right here has Maurice Richard. That must be him right over there. Actually, let's open this up and have a look. When you can find Maurice Richard in a picture, that's just pretty cool. Let's go see where Maurice is. Oh, that's him over there, actually. No, that's not Eddie Shore. That's not Boston. Yeah, look at that's Maurice Richard right there. Oh my goodness, that is so cool. Look at this people in the stands. Just a neat item right there. Okay, so that's the first 52 Topps Mickey Mantle. And then Robert Scott, what a horrible thought cutting up that stick. I know. I wouldn't I wouldn't vote for that either. Wayne Simpson said, "Hi guys, who took the pictures of black white cards back 50s? It's very interesting to see it's in good shape. Back in the old days, they used a camera." Don't know the answer, Wayne, but thanks for the comment. And Rob's nicely centered 65 Mantle. And Wesley says, "I came here to window shop and now I'm mortgaging the dog." Good. Okay, let's go back to where we left off. The Mantles. Mantle home run, type 1 handshake photo right here. What's this jersey all about, Ben? The Mickey Mantle signed New York Yankees jersey presented to the 1993 World Series Blue Jays.
Yeah, that's a neat and sort of unique piece. So the story on that one is that Mantle was invited to the 1993 World Series by the Blue Jays, and as a gift to the Blue Jays for having him at the stadium for the game, he signed this jersey for them. There's some photos, if you actually click on it, of him signing it with some Blue Jays executives there, and it also includes Mantle's original ticket to the game.
Oh, that's key. Mantle's ticket to the game?
Yeah. So you can see it right there. Yeah.
Let's take a look at that, because ticket collecting is a big thing as well. So Mantle's, this is the ticket that he carried with him to get into the building?
So I believe you'll see it's unused, but because he wouldn't have went in, the regular ticket doors, but it was probably a ceremonial gesture to give him a ticket. So there's a letter from the executive who sort of facilitated Mantle coming to the stadium. Talks a little bit about it there, just in that letter, but a unique item for sure. And it's neat to have. I think it's neat to have the photos of Mantle actually signing that jersey.
Well, neat is, you're understating the relevance of that. I mean, neat is something, but it's provenance, it's evidence. It's proof. It's that's a really cool piece. $375. That's got to go for quite a bit more, I would think. That ticket itself could be worth, I don't know, I'm $1,000 to $2,000 just for the ticket. Mantle's ticket. Like, I've seen a lot of ticket auctions happen, a lot of tickets sell at auction, a lot of tickets at card shows and all that, but I've never seen a ticket that belonged to somebody like a Mickey Mantle. So that's pretty cool. Pretty darn cool. And it's a World Series ticket. Expo's game worn jersey. Game worn by whom? Number 2.
Yeah, Northrop, I believe. So not a huge guy, but a neat jersey too. Like for our Canadian audience in Montreal, they're a neat piece.
And look at this, guys. Here we have from 1952 Topps, the Willie Mays and the Jackie Robinson. These are both PSA 1s, which is going to open the door to so many people who just can't afford to spend 5 figures to 7 figures on these cards. Now, I don't know what these are going to sell for at the end of the day, but right now the Mace is at $1,500, the Jackie's at $2,750, and after the Mantle, these are the 2 most important best cards from the first top set, which is the first major top set, 52 Tops baseball. Ben, the collection these came from, did you already mention, or would you like to mention it again?
Yeah, I can talk about it again. So a lot of the 52 tops that you'll see in this sale is single owner from one collection. This older gentleman who we sourced the collection from opened the packs in 1952. And there's a Jackie, there's a Maze, there's a Mantle. It was an incredible find, and they're well loved and they show their character, but they're neat cards, and it's an opportunity to buy a partial 1952 set here in the sale.
Very cool. Here's a group of high numbers right there. There's the Hoyt Wilhelm, the Roy Campanella. Whole bunch of lots have been curated here at Miller and Miller. Look at Yogi Berra right in the middle of that 9-pack right there. Very cool. Oh, there's another Maze right there in a 59 card lot. Oh no, maybe it's 46 of 59 in the 5th series. We get into some 54 Tops hockey. There's the Gordie Howe right there, the first Tops hockey set ever. So you can pick up some first Tops hockeys, some first Tops baseballs here if you want. You got a 54. This is the 54 Parker set with the Johnny Bauer rookie card right there at the bottom. And they're 100 of 100. So the complete set, 60 of 60, the whole first Tops hockey set right there. More complete sets, 55 Parkers with the Jacques Plante rookie, 79 card set. Let's just have a look at the Plante there. I'm a big fan of oh, that's a nice 3. My goodness. Recently graded. Yeah. Look at the centering on this. The centering on this card is often not great. Now, this one from side, I'm used to looking at this card, landscape wise. So from the orientation we're looking at it side to side, really good centering. It's a little bit low. The name Plante is a little bit low versus the top border, but not bad at all. Really clear, easy to look at, presents very well for a 3. Oh, wow. This is a cool lot right here, guys. Tons of pictures as well. Tons of pictures you can look at. See how the cards stack right there, the raw ones. You got the old time greats, it looks like, in there. Oh, maybe that's not this set. Sorry. Really cool. 57 Tops partial set, 59 Parkers partial set, more partial set. Oh, we're at the bottom of page 1 already. Let's go to page 2, guys. Let's go to page 2. Justin, you hanging in there okay, buddy?
Absolutely.
Good. Glad to have you still here with us. The whole Tops Tall Boy complete set, 110 cards, guys. Really cool set right there. We've got the York Peanut Butter set over there, the Sheriff coins, some beehives. Like, what a great selection of different historical items, historical sport collectibles here. McCovey rookie card, more Mantle, a nice 57 or 67 Tops Hank Aaron. It's the Steve Carlton rookie in a PSA 5. That looks exceptionally well centered for a PSA 5. Let's look at the Carlton for a second, everybody. And I'm just looking at this, and it could be way higher graded to me. Like, okay, it does have a little bit of, snow in the black here, but the corners look not perfect, but they look really good. But the centering on this, not perfect, but like top end for sure. Top end centering here, recently graded as well. You got Fritz Ackley here. I call him Unibrow right there. No offense to Unibrow. Great selection. Okay, we have a Dodgers World Series team signed baseball. Ben, do you know who some of the key signers are on this card?
Yeah, so you got a Koufax on that ball there. Neat story on that ball. It came from a gentleman who invented various things in baseball. Most of them didn't stick around, but he was pretty big in the 60s, and that he got that ball signed, and it's been in the family ever since, and now it's being offered here.
What about this Ty Cobb bat with letter of provenance? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so there was a another church find, I believe, or schoolhouse actually. There was a grouping of these bats found in the basement of a schoolhouse. It says there's a photo of the letter where it says where that was found, but a number of them were found in the basement of a schoolhouse, and not many of them survived. They were all molded and damaged, but this one's in pretty nice shape, and the Ty Cobb logo on the bat is pretty clean. That letter is pretty all encompassing. If you read it, you get to know a little bit more about the history of it.
That bat was made in 1909. I mean, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool right there. That thing's 116 years old. Notice how quick I am at math, everybody. All right, we've got some a 1934 group of 4 World Series ticket stubs, ICERT graded. 1948 World Series ticket stub pair, Satchel Pages World Series debut. Come on. That's awesome. I love that a Canadian auction company are finding some of these artifacts. I think that's just so cool. Really neat. Some 1912 C46 baseball cards here. And then we're getting into some things that I recognize more so. The 49 Bowman baseball partial set, 69 cards. A group of 9 1951 Bowmans. You got some 52 Bowmans. You got some exhibits. Oh, the Ted Williams. This is on my want list. Okay, I love how right here you guys can compare and contrast the 1950 Bowman to the 1951 Bowman. Look at these 2 cards, you guys. They're both Ted Williams. The 1950 Bowman, it's a smaller card, and you don't have his name on the front, where the 1951 Bowman, you have his name on the front in this black name bar right over there. The other thing I'm noticing, I think, well, no, maybe I'm not noticing that. It looks like, whoa, the addition of clouds. I don't see clouds over here, but I'm seeing clouds over here. But a little bit of a green. Yeah, it's a little bit of a different image. They're cropped differently from the original photo, I suppose. I'm partial to the 51 because I like the bigger card and I like the name bar. So this is a card that is on my hit list. And this is a pretty decent copy. Look at that. It's an SGC 4.5. What a beautiful card. I don't know about you, Ben, but I love 51 Bowmans. I have 4 so far in my collection. I'm looking for a Warren Spahn, a Ted Williams, maybe Campanella, but I just love them. Just love them.
If I were to collect one baseball set, it would be the 51 Bowman. I just love it. You know, I don't know how to explain it. I just think it's the size and the sort of animated image of the players. I'd be the one to collect if it was me.
It's the artwork, right? It's the beautiful artwork. I love the shape of them. I way prefer the shape, the dimensions of the 51s over the 1950s myself.
I agree.
49 Bowman Larry Doby rookie. That's a tough card right there. 52 Topps Mickey Mantle PSA 1. I got to tell you, I think I prefer this one to the earlier 2, just at first glance. Let's open this one up. And Ben, tell us the story behind this card.
Yeah, so another single owner. It's the same collection where the Robinson and the Mays came from. So, you know, this gentleman who owned this card pulled it from a pack in 1952. It stayed in the same box for, you know, the last 40, 50 years until it saw the light of day on this guy's kitchen table when I walked into his place. And I agree with you. Like, this one is pretty incredible in terms of the color and the eye appeal. It, to me, is nicer than the 2 earlier if I was to buy one of them.
I think so too. I see some light wrinkling, maybe creasing here. There is this little almost pixel here on his cheek, which is to me the biggest issue with the card. But it's this is I've seen ones that look 100 times worse, obviously, right? You got some creasing or bendish sort of stuff going on in the corners. Obviously some corner wear and rounding, but it's a 1. I mean, and even at a 1, this card is at $40,000 right now. Pre-buyer's premium. That's a great one. What does the back look like? Similar to the front. Nothing crazy on the back to make you think that it's that you know there's any paper loss. I don't see anything like that upon quick glance, but I do encourage everybody, go to Miller and Miller auctions.com and have a look at all these items for yourself, especially if you're planning on bidding on anything. Another Bobby Orr rookie. This is the KSA 6 copy, currently at $2,500. This looks like a really nice copy, actually. Let's have a look here. Just centering is the weak spot on this one, left to right. You can see it's got a way wider border on the right than on the left, but otherwise looks to have some sharp edges and even the corners are good, but there are some issues on them. But a pretty okay copy. You can see this break here. That's a good sign that it's off-centered, but that we can just tell from looking at the card too. What's the story behind this Bobby Orr, Ben?
Yeah, it is a nice copy, Jeremy. Looking at it, the eye appeal is strong. I believe it's single owner on that one, and recently graded by KSA. But yeah, just a nice copy of Orr's rookie.
Yeah. Let's keep on going, guys. Oh, a Jim Brown. Here's the Jim Brown you were mentioning earlier.
Yeah.
This is a PSA 5. And this one, this is good too. It's off center, not as bad as the last one. Well, maybe similar to the last one. It does have some fading in this black area, some snow effect coming through, but the corners and the edges are very sharp on this copy. Not perfectly registered, but average to above average, I would say, from a registration perspective. I've inspected dozens and dozens, I won't say hundreds, but dozens and dozens of this card over the years. Is this from that same collection that you've been mentioning a few times?
This one, that one's different. That one actually came up from the US to be offered here in Canada.
With Walter Payton?
That's right.
Yeah. Very cool. We got some boxing exhibits here. A nice framed piece, Jack Dempsey. Some wrestling items here, guys. More wrestling. Maple Leafs pencil set at $100 for 4 pencils and counting, you guys. Some nice glassware, the collectible glassware, some more Sheriff coins. These Cowan tiles are very popular. I've seen those over the years. More and more unique pieces. I wanted to get to the Maple Leaf Gardens red chair here, signed by 25 Toronto Maple Leafs. Ben, where'd this piece come from?
Yeah, so that was sourced locally, and the gentleman who got that seat had many of the signatures done himself. So he would go to these signing events and get his favorite players to sign the chair, and that's a nice sort of earlier example of that chair. I like it better than the chair that kind of comes out vertically and makes a right angle. I don't know if you know what I mean, but yeah, it's a nice example. The red's really strong. The color is strong, and the number 5 is bold there. It's a nice piece.
Tons of autographs on there. I see Johnny Bauer. I think I saw Doug Harvey on there, and more. I'd have to really look at it. There's Eddie Shack.
Yeah, full list
Yeah.
is in the description there, and yeah, there's a good group of group of players there.
Yeah, look at that. The whole list is there, you guys. So you could always check that out. All sorts of additional pictures as well. I like the wood base in between the bottom legs as well. Some Type 1 photos, more old hockey and baseball, and Gretzky rookie. There's a nice KSA 5 Bobby Hull rookie. Have a look at that one if you're in the market for a Bobby Hull rookie card. Group of 16 52 Parkers. There's another Sawchuk, the Richard, and this trio here, to me, this is the key trio of that whole set. You can pick them all off at once right there. And more sets here, guys. Coca-Cola. I'm just going to scroll through now, and we're going to wrap this up pretty quickly. We want to keep this to about an hour just so we can get as many people looking at this in the future. A Topps PSA 8 Ken Dryden rookie. And by the future, I mean between now and the closing of this auction on Sunday, June 22nd. There's a PSA 30 Peachy Gretzky. Looks to be very well centered side to side. Have a look at that one, if you will. And I'll just do a quick scroll through the last page here. Should only be about 40 more items. Some baseball nodders right here. That's at $475. A group of 6 Hall of Fame signed baseballs. They all look to be single signed from this angle. 57 Topps, one of my favorite Topps baseball sets right there. I love the imagery on this. This is a group of 4 cards. They all look to be, you got Pee Wee Reese, Warren Spahn, who's that? Ed Snyder? No, I can't see it. Whitey Ford over here. Okay, we're just going to go into it and have a look. I clicked on it now. Al Kaline and Whitey Ford. 666. They're all PSA 6s. That Pee Wee Reese is wonderfully centered, and the Spahn is very strong as well. And now we'll just, I say we're just going to scroll through, but I reserve the right to take some detours here, guys. Let's see what we have. A bunch of 56 Topps baseball. Look at that. The Jackie and the Clemente right there. Second year Clemente. There's the 55s. The second year Nolan Ryan. My favorite Nolan Ryan card right there. I way prefer that to his rookie card. Some 1960 Topps. A Sandy Koufax on-card autograph right there. 1962 Bell brand. An Orlando Cepeda autographed rookie card. Look at all these beauties. Team Canada Summit Series medallion from 1972, Canada versus USSR. That's a neat piece. Ben, do you know the story behind that?
Yeah, so I think the story on that one is these medallions were given to associates, VIPs, and players from that series, and we weren't sure which player or VIP or exec got this coin, but a neat piece and a pretty significant series in 1972 there.
A real neat collectible memento from that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
An uncut O-Pee-Chee 79 set here. 2 sheets. I don't know. That probably would not be a complete set. There were 396 cards in that set. So I don't know if that's complete or not. I can't do that math quick enough. But you are saying that the Gretzky rookie is on here. I don't know where the Gretzky rookie falls on the sheet. Do you know where it is?
Should be a close-up of it. If you just click in, we should have a close-up in there somewhere that shows the Gretzky. It's pretty nice.
Let's have a look at that. Oh, yeah. Oftentimes you'll see creases or surface wear because these things were rolled up and sometimes just not treated too well. But this looks to be pretty, I mean, I can't tell if there's creases or not. I doubt there are.
No, I think it's crease free. It's a pretty nice example, I think.
That's really cool. It's always nice to see who was around him too. If you go find him right beside Bobby Smith, the second best rookie in the whole set, I consider to be the Bobby Smith. Some people might say Charlie Simmer, Kenny Linsman, but to me, it's the Bobby Smith. Here's a PSA 3 O-Pee-Chee Gretzky rookie, the second one that we've seen. O-Pee-Chee SGC 1. Oh, look at the centering on this Bobby Orr rookie here. This is a KSA 3. And oh, this is perfect. This is perfect. Okay, hold on. Perfect side to side centering, but top to bottom, it does feature a little bit of the name above. And I just happen to know that that is the bottom of Bobby Hull's name right there. Bobby Hull fell above Bobby Orr on this sheet. So that yellow is the very bottom of Bobby Hull's card. So that's not ideal, but what is ideal and optimal is that side to side centering on this card is almost perfect. Bobby Orr's head looks great. Wonderful color, a nice deep wood grain color to the background here. It's almost oversized to me. Like this card, it almost looks like they cut it too big because the bottom border doesn't look, it doesn't stick out to me as being too narrow, which kind of makes me think that the top border might be extra big, which maybe you're just getting bonus Bobby Hull, some bonus Bobby Hull now here. I don't know. That's a pretty cool copy of the Bobby Orr rookie. It's at $1,900. I'm not surprised, and I can't see it missing that estimate of $35,000 to $4,000 or even exceeding it. It's a very well-centered copy with great color and registration. There's a KSA 3 O-Pee-Chee Gretzky rookie. Some team-signed images here. The Coleco Trophy set is pretty cool. Bobby Hull's personal 1965 City of Hope Award. Wow, that's neat. Ben, where'd you get that one from?
Yeah, that was sourced locally. Kind of a unique item presented personally to Bobby Hull. So sort of a piece of a legendary player.
Only $100 right now on that. The first 2 issues of Sports Illustrated. That's fun. That's really people always just take, the first issue, but the first two, that's extra cool to me. Replica championship ring set of 29. And we end with a pair of gold baseball watch fob pendants, $850 on those. That's neat. Ben, what do you know about those pieces?
Justin, you might even be able to jump in on those unique thing. Justin's our watch expert, so
Yeah, they'd be a figural watch fob. So like you'd have one of those suspended from a watch chain to kind of hang out of the pocket, and each one of these kind of has its own unique history behind it. You can see the one there; it's from People's Credit Jewelers, which was a baseball team. I think it's what does it say? OASA senior, and the other one a CNA, like a souvenir from the exhibition here in Canada.
1939. That's pretty cool. They remind me of, my daughter wears these Croc shoes with I don't know what they call these things they put in the hole, the giblets or giblets, or what are they called?
Like giblets or charms, yeah.
Yeah, giblets. I'm always hearing about these giblets. These are the original giblets that are charms that you would hang off of, right? The old charm bracelets were hot 30 years ago or whatever that was. Okay, so we've run through the auction, guys. I think that was a lot of fun. That was really cool. Lots of great pieces. Auction ends June 22nd. We're an hour and 11 minutes in. I wanted to keep it to an hour, but that's fine. We went overtime a little bit. It was worth it. I think we got to cover a lot of really great items. Let's go. Jordan here said, next time, just DM me anything on Brooks Robinson. Robert Scott says, sounds like I need to start going back to church. That's where we're finding a lot of these items. He also really liked the 51 Ted Williams. Yeah, me too, Rob. Me too. He says, really well curated and well photographed auction website is easy to navigate as well. Robert Scott, thank you for sharing that positive feedback. It's always nice to hear. Linda's first says, great job, guys. Best of luck on the auction. Thank you, Linda's first son, Michael. Appreciate that. Ben, Justin, anything else you'd like to mention before we wrap this up?
Just really wanted to thank you, Jeremy, for having us on again. I mean, the reality is it's nice to hear your sort of feedback and perspective on these sales and go through. I mean, we learn a lot from you, and it's nice to kind of be tapped into your community.
I appreciate it. It's nice to hear. It's flattering to hear. Thank you, Justin. I'm rooting for you guys, and I love what you're doing. And like Rob Scott says, you guys are pros. You're pros. This is a professional auction house with great curation, great imagery, great descriptions. You're putting some time into that. So I think it's wonderful. Hey, Foul Ball's here. What's up, buddy? Says, great show. Just watching. Thanks for letting me know you're here, Jeremy. Jeff McMahon, first time seeing this new series. I really enjoyed the show. And this is only the second time, Jeff, that we've done a Miller and Miller auction showcase here on Sports Cards Live, because this is only their second ever sports card auction. So we teamed up right from the beginning, and kind of proud to be part of the team, if you will. I don't work for you guys, but we're working together, and I'm proud to be able to showcase you to the sports card and memorabilia community. Laura, thanks. You guys loved all the stories. Thanks, Laura, for listening to those. All right. Well, Ben, we're going to wrap up. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds great. Just wanted to echo what Justin said, and thank you, Jeremy, and thank everyone who listened. And feel free to reach out to either Justin or I, get to know our website a little bit. Feel free to give us a call at any time, and happy to chat and learn from your listeners as well as you.
Thank you, Ben. Miller and Miller Auctions. You find them at millerandmillerauctions.com. And we're going to put this out on podcast as well, on Sports Cards Live Auction Nights podcast. So if you're listening there, make sure you visit the website. Even if you listen after the auction ends, which is June 22nd, 2025, check out millerandmillerauctions.com. When can we expect Sports Card Memorabilia auction number 3, Ben?
So our next auction is September 27th for sports cards. So it'll go live about the end of the first week of September. It'll be up on our website.
Are you going to be walking the floor at the Chicago National at the end of July, early August, checking out the scene there by chance?
That's the plan. Yeah, we're going to see if we can do that.
I'll be there. So make sure if you see me, come chase me down. I'll do the same, and we can browse some tables together.
Perfect.
All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight on the Miller and Miller Show here on Sports Cards Live. This is a lot of fun. We'll see you again back on the channel very soon, and hopefully back here in September with Miller and Miller. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Ben. And thank you to the chat.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy.